Hello, this is Gene. I just want to talk today about the email controversy with Hillary Clinton. I was driving to Best Buy this morning to get the new Mad Max Fury Road Blu-ray Steelbook. In fact, there'll be a video up of the unboxing, and if you watch that type of stuff, or if you're into that type of stuff, I give out the code for you guys to watch the movie to the first person to ask for it. So if you saw this before someone else saw the other video, and you want a copy of the movie that you can download and watch it today, I just give it away. I don't use the code. I use the Blu-ray if I want to watch the movie. Going back to the email controversy, I was listening on POTUS again with Michael. I can't say his last name because of my issues with talking. And there was a man that came on named John Schindler, who is a security expert, somebody that worked at the NSA. And he first and eloquently described the issue that no one who's defending Hillary will bring up. And I'm going to try to explain it to the people who don't understand. I worked in classified areas, was in the Air Force for 24 years, and about that time, 18% of that, 18 years of that was in classified locations using classified servers. And what I would ask you to do is, if you can, you could maybe download Michael's show from today, Tuesday, I think it is. Yeah, Tuesday is the 1st of September, and listen to what he had to say. And he said it exactly the way it is. And I don't understand why people are still defending her on this. People may want to say that other states, secretaries of state, did the same thing. I don't know if that happened or not, but if she did, that was wrong. Now, in my experience, if you did what she did, or was accused of it, or your staff did it, you would be in trouble. And now if you're enlisted, you probably lose rank. You might actually get booted out of the service. Didn't really happen to the officers, and I would say that she's at the top of that, so she's even above officers. So nothing's going to happen to her that I can see that's going to be her going to jail. However, it should ruin her chances for the presidency. And people have looked at my channel. I had like a 30-minute where I just told that I don't like the woman, even though I'm a Democrat. She lies all the time. So this wasn't anything new to me when it came out that this was going on. So I'm going to try to explain it like the guy did, and what I know is the truth. Because a lot of people want to say now that she didn't know what she was doing was wrong and all that stuff. Everybody that's in the government that works in these type of systems are briefed, and they have to sign something. They are trained and all that stuff, and that even means the top person, the Secretary of State. She has no out here. She knew what she was doing was wrong, whether it was for convenience sake. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to try to visualize it, or try to show you this through demonstrations. Let's say this book right here is the classified system, St. Louis Cardinals. But let's say the classified system. Things come in into that classified system, and this system is close looped. It doesn't go out to the internet as we know it. It's all stays inside the DoD, the Intelnet, stuff that cannot be hacked from the outside. I'm not going to say that no one could ever hack this thing, but it's very, very hard. Now, classified one, and I used home because that's where she was getting the shit at her home. Obviously, anybody can hack this. It's open to the internet. Anybody that has any type of hacking skills can get into it. So the problem I have with her is, well, let me try to explain it to you. In order for what's on here, on the classified system, to get here, you just can't send it to this. You can't. What we call it in the vault where I live or worked was like sneaker gap or air gap. You actually had to take that information off of here, put it on a disk or something like that, and then you could manipulate it on a unclassified system and then email it out. Now, you're not supposed to do that, but you could do it that way. And the problem is that what we're finding out now is she's saying she didn't know whether the stuff that came out were actually classified at the time she got it. The problem is when it comes here, it's always classified. It doesn't matter what. It has that information. So if her staff is actually taking that information and then taking out all the markings on it and then sending it to her to email here, that's against federal law, and and she's done it, according to what I've seen, probably at least 10 or 15 times. And I can just tell you that is, I mean, I think each offense could be 10 years. Now, ain't nothing going to happen to her other than the fact that she may not run for president now. Somebody may say that she has no integrity on this issue. Now, on the show, a lot of people come on there, a lot of guys who never worked in the DOD and don't understand how it works. They're saying, and basically the internet is open to everybody and anybody can get into it, and that that makes my point even more. Why would she allow this being sent to an unclassified system that can be easily hacked? What was she thinking, that if I take off the top secret or the secret on there, that the guys who are looking for that type of information will not try to get it because it doesn't have it has top secret on it? This was a workaround, and there are a couple different phrases in the community that we call it as, like talk around, or you paraphrase what you're doing because you know the other person on the other end knows what you're talking about, so you may have some code word or something in there, and right away that person knows what you're talking about, and both you know, but you talked it over unclassified systems, or maybe an unclassified or not secure phone. Happens all the time in the DOD. It's not the right thing to do, but it happens all the time. What they did is somebody did there's no oh, this is can't get it out. It's intentional, okay. What they did is there's no way she gets that information unless the guys at this position is just writing it down in his own little BlackBerry and then sending it to her. It was an intentional act, and whether she asked them to do it, they were doing under her orders. So now the guy that said it, Sean Slender, I tweeted him and I said he killed it, because he did everything perfectly to describe it, because I can't, the way I talk, I can't get it out. And a couple times Michael tried to not impede what he was trying to say, because he said, what she did was illegal, and then he's like, well, there's no code that you can give that could show that. And he said, I don't have the regulation in front of me. I just know that everybody that goes through this information, we're briefed. We have to sign something saying that we can't do this. And on that little briefing thing, it has the actual U.S. code for what it could be. So he went through each thing, and at the end, still, Michael didn't understand it. And then other people will come on there and just not defend Clinton, but they don't understand how it works. You can't get here to here unless there has to be a human interaction. I'm not talking about over the internet. I'm talking about you actually have to either, what we call it, sneaker over to the other person, or air gap into the next thing. Now, in this system, this classified, it has its own internet. It's not like Amazon and stuff. You go there and order stuff, but it allows everybody in the Intel or Air Force or the Navy to look at this information, and all this information comes on all the time. And what happens is I think this is not classified, but there are several command posts around the world, a lot of intel stuff around. And when this stuff comes in, there are people like me that sit there and see it, and we'll tell our superiors, and it goes up and up and up the chain, and it comes to the State Department, and the staff looks at it. They have to go into these vaults where these are at, okay, where the classified systems are. They have to go in there. A human has to go in there and do this, and they see this information, and they're like, oh, maybe she wants to see it. Now, they make that decision whether you can send it or not. And they know that if they take it off this and they send it to something else through a classified system, and or emails it or texts it to her, that is a violation of federal law. And this is not, I mean, it's not hard to understand. Now, these aren't the greatest props in the world, but it doesn't get here. This has its own loop, closed loop system. It doesn't go out to the rest of the world. It's within. Anyway, because listen to this. They're talking about that they could still send it to her. Yeah, they can still send it. To me, and the problem that I have with this woman is the arrogance that she could do this and just say it was based on convenience and I just wanted this information. And I'll be smart enough and I won't actually, I'll say, go ahead and send it to me, but take off the markings so no one will actually know what we're sending to each other, so no one will actually try to steal it and get our information when it's easily, there are hackers that could do it all the time. And the idea to think that this information has not been out there, that someone else has it. Anyway, it's not shocking to me, but to me this is a big enough issue that I would not vote for, even though I'm a Democrat. So, and I hope that somebody will, this guy, John Schindler, will go on to bigger stages to get the information out there, because it's an important thing to understand. It's not, I forgot, because she keeps changing her stories all the time. Now it's like this information, now they're going to reactively bring it back to classified. It was always classified because what they did is they took it off of there. They didn't put anything on there so they could send it to her so she would have some, deniability at the end. The problem is that it's always been classified. Once that information's out there, and if it's a certain nature, it becomes classified. And she has no leg to stand on here. Anyway, that's all I have today. If you have any comments, let me know. Obviously, I probably didn't explain this as much as I can. That's why I would say go to his channel or his website. I can't say his last name. The guy's on POTUS. He's an independent guy. He's there between 9 and 12 on Eastern every day. And go there and download what he had to say, what Mr. John Schindler had to say. And I don't think it's very hard to understand. Now, obviously, Michael was not ever working with the government like this. And he still thinks that there is some sort of right-wing conspiracy. Not really, he's not, but he's saying that he thinks that maybe there's something like that. But there's nothing really going on here. And if we come out that we find out that Rice was doing the same thing and all that stuff, they need to be held accountable as well. Now, again, nothing's going to happen to these people. The only people that actually ever get hit for this type of things are usually enlisted people, and their lives are destroyed by it. And same as what happened to Abu Ghraib. The people that actually went to jail were enlisted people, even though the officers knew what was going on. Maybe one day I'll talk about that and how we treat our officers compared to our enlisted. But anyway, this has been Gene. Thank you for listening, and you guys have a good day. Bye.